welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be setting up my July bullet journal spread. So the theme for this month's spread is rainbows. I decided to do rainbows because honestly, is there anything more summery than rainbows and bright colours? But I kept the colour palette quite minimal in the sense that all the colours are pastel instead of the bright rainbows that you'd usually expect. So I'm aware that it's basically the end of July now, but when I set this theme up, it was kind of halfway through. So of course, use this kind of theme for August. It's still summery, so it will definitely work for August as well. I started this spread by mapping out in pencil what I actually wanted to do on the page. Not in too much detail, just so I kind of know where everything is going, just so it's clearer when I'm actually starting in pen, so I don't mess anything up, which you'll see how I fix throughout this video as well. So once I had actually marked everything out, I went in with my Tombow Fudenosuke hard tip brush pen and wrote out July. It was honestly just kind of a fun way to do the font. I think that matched the theme for July as well. After I had written out the title of July, I went in with my Tombow dual brush pens and actually used the hard tip side just so I could draw the rainbow shapes. I mixed up the rainbow order in a way, so it sometimes went from pink to orange to yellow, and then other times the outer colour was actually a purple or a blue. This just gave it a bit more visual interest, so the rainbows didn't look so repetitive, but the colour order was generally still the same, so it didn't look too different either. So after I had drawn all of these rainbows, I felt like the page was still missing something, so I drew smaller rainbows with only 3 colours at a time, just in the little gaps, so it added a bit more depth to the page. I still felt like the page was missing something, so I outlined the whole page with a rounded rectangle. This kind of just made the page pop and feel complete. I also then went on to add a drop shadow because it kind of just made the page pop. And then to finish off the page, I outlined July with just kind of a bubble going around the whole of the lettering, and then added a drop shadow to that as well. I think if I were to do this spread again, I would probably kind of make a blacked out rectangle in the middle with July written in it in a cursive font. I just feel like that would make the whole page pop a bit better, but you know, I like how this turns out anyway. I think it works for the moment, but it's always good to look back and be like, oh, what would I change? So after I set up that page, I went on to the next page, which was my calendar spread. Sometimes I use this page as a quote page or maybe like a collage, but this month, because I had set this up kind of halfway through the month, I wanted it to be a bit more practical, and I knew that I wasn't going to be using this theme in a way for too long, so I decided to go for the calendar spread. For this calendar spread, I had already marked out where the boxes and where the calendar was going, and the box sizes were 3 dot spaces and 3 dot spaces, so literally squares. And guys, I kind of messed up this calendar, which you will see me fix it. Make sure that your numbers on your calendars are right, guys. So I started by doing a black kind of ledger at the top, which is where I put the days of the week on. I really love the way that the white looks on the black. I think it definitely just makes it pop, and just the font as well, which was quite like a simple font, just made it look a lot clearer and also quite childish, which is what I wanted for this theme because the rainbows, and I kind of just wanted to have fun with it. So I added the ledger at the top, added a simple kind of line drop shadow to that, and then moved on to the actual calendar part. But with the calendar part, I rounded the edges of it. It was just a simple calendar though. And then I used the rainbow colours in order to put each day on there. I still felt like the page needed something, so I added these big blocked rainbows on each side of the page, one being more warm tones and the other side being more cool tones. I then did the same thing using the Tombow dual brush pens, but just with the hard tip side, and did like just a simple line rainbow drawing, which I felt like just finished off the page. Like I said before, I set this spread and theme up kind of halfway through July, so I didn't really feel the need to have any mood trackers or habit trackers since there was kind of only like a week and a half left of July. So I decided to go straight to my weekly spread. So the weekly spread I did as literally just like a to-do list and had the events, any events I had of the week. I later realized that I kind of set this spread up halfway through the week, but set the weekly spread up for the next week, and then I ended up doing another weekly spread anyway. So basically this spread was for the week beginning the 20th of July. And I changed the dates after, so I know the dates are kind of wrong on here. So for this weekly spread, I did it just on one page, and I started by doing the rounded rectangle because I really liked the way that looked on the cover page. So I started by doing that. I knew that in the corner I wanted to put a rainbow, so I made sure to leave that bit blank and learnt from my mistakes from before. So I left that bit blank so I could add that rainbow in. I used the Tombow dual brush pens again to add the rainbow in the warmer colours. I had just done a spread in June that used kind of lilacs and really cold purples, so I decided to, anywhere that I kind of could add like a main feature, I did a warm, just so it looked a bit different by using the warmer colours in the colour palette. Also, because it was the end of the month nearly and it kind of had a week left to go, I decided to put not only the July calendar but also the August one, just so I knew what was going on in the next month as well, so I could plan in advance. And then under the calendars on the left hand side, I put the events bar. This is kind of just if I have anything I need to remember on specific days. The lettering looks a bit off on this, so yeah, we're just gonna have to ignore that. But yeah, definitely if I did it again, I would use like a blacked out rectangle or kind of a blacked out brush as the background, and then write events in white pen on top. But what I really liked doing with this events bar was the colours and the rainbow colours. Honestly, the colours just in the lines looked so gorgeous together, so I'm really glad that that kind of worked out. And since I was using 6 colours, I just did Saturday and Sunday in the same colours because they're the weekend. On the other side, I decided to do a brain dump bright ideas page. This is really handy when I'm doing spreads like this because most likely I'm going to run out of space, but I don't particularly want like planning space. It's just kind of ideas for space for me to spew any ideas I have for that week. I generally do these spreads when I know I'm like working on a project or going to be planning things and it's not so much I have tasks to do for the day. So this kind of brain dump page really helped. I kept this spread quite simple really because it's just a space for me to write any ideas I have or plan anything out. So it's literally just like a rounded rectangle, and then I wrote the title in at the top, which was Bright Ideas, which I think is really cute and matched the theme. Either side of the title of this spread, I used the same rainbows like I did at the beginning of the spread, which filled in the gaps. I used the hard tip side of the Tombow dual brush pens and drew simple lines at the bottom. 2020 setup. I also added some brain dump pages after these spreads, which you'll see in the flip through. I also set up my weekly spread after this, which you can go and see on my Instagram. And I hope you enjoyed this setup, and I hope my voiceover was okay as well. Please subscribe if you want to see more content, share, like, comment. I really would love to see what you guys think of it, and I will look forward to seeing you in my next video. Thank you. Bye guys.